Welcome to Station WBMCT, Black Middle Class Talk, where we talk, get down, throw the communication around, message, receiver, feedback. Let's get it on. Your host, CC, and your co-host, EB. Let's talk, communicate. Hello, again, another week, mid-August. Welcome to Station WBMCT. As always, once a week we're here in the studio from 1:30 to 2:30, and we discuss black issues and any issues that concerns black people, or maybe not, but most issues do concern us in the United States today. And as always, we have 4 segments to the show. We have domestic and international news. We have the subject of the day is sexuality. The topic today is prejudices. And as always, we end the show, the last 15 minutes, the last quarter of the hour, we'll talk about entertainment. So we're trying to pick it up and be positive on the negative end. And as always, this is just a conversation, a talk podcast, and we just... Not trying to offend anybody, but we're going to say what's on our mind, and we're going to speak what we know to be truth. My name is CC, and my co-host here is EB. As always, EB, how's the week going, brother?
Week's going good. Week's going good.
All right, what's going on in the news?
Well, a couple of things that we got going on in the news is that, first of all, Lindsey Graham's sister did win the runoff in South Carolina. You know, she was one that was picked by Trump and supported by Trump, and he did a lot of rallies and all with her. And like I say, she beat the guy, you know, not by a whole lot, but she did win. So you know, Trump is grinning in the White House.
He finally got a win.
Yeah.
Right, just the primary. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's the primary. Like I said, now I heard the Democrat do have a good candidate in South Carolina.
Right. But the thing about it, MAGA is still alive, is it?
Yeah. Well, you know, he's taking some hits, you know what I'm saying? Because I think at one time he was 0-19 for the people that he was
that makes
supporting.
Sense.
And then, like you say, but now that's the one that he would care the most about.
Right. And so I don't want to hear anything about being unqualified ever again.
Right, or DEI hire.
DEI hire ever again. That's just ridiculous, unqualified all over the place. And it's always, and I've noticed that when I was in corporate America, every time you talk about black hires, the word qualified always pops up, and which is ridiculous to me. You know, the most people unqualified are your white males, and you can see that even to this day. So, yeah, that's in good standing, and because that's the only reason she's standing on the stage, don't have a clue even about, what was that easy question?
Taiwan.
Taiwan has been the talk for the last 10, 15 years, and you don't have a clue on that, and then people vote for you anyway. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's just white privilege to the max.
White privilege to the max. Because a lot of folks are saying is that, you know, that she, what they call a sympathy vote. A lot of them, you know,
sympathy vote
because her brother died.
Oh, okay. We're gonna reward her with his job.
Exactly.
That's new.
Yeah, that's
what else is going on? I didn't spend too much time on that.
Yeah, exactly. Next thing is that the Supreme Court did. I listened to it, and I really don't got a clear understanding of what they're giving him permission to, as far as like with the mail-in ballots. I think that. Well,
it's a new. Gerrymandering, not gerrymandering, that's not the right word. Let me just explain to the best that I understand it. Okay, so what they want to do is get these lists of names, and they want to compare it to the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, rolls, right, of people they have that are here illegally or that. So they got 2 lists, right? One from the state, one from DHS. they compared it to if your name is on the DHS, your name is Jose Garcia, and you're on the DHS list, and you're a registered voter in Illinois, well, they probably will strike your name off because you're on the DHS list. That's what they're giving. It's the same thing they've done with black people and Hispanic people forever, except this is on steroids, where they do this cross-check. Gotcha. That's basically, this is a cross-check using the government roles, So, well, it's always government roles, but it's just another underhanded way of kicking people off the rolls.
And that's what that issue was that they was having about. They wanted all the states to send their voter rolls to them. So they saying that and to give that roll, once they scrub it, give it to the post office. And then, like you saying, if it don't match, a ballot is not sent out.
Right. If you're not on the government approved voting list,
Trump
this
approved,
is how ridiculous it is. And
the
Supreme Court is so corrupt to go along with this scheme. And because you got at least 3 of them that are on the Supreme Court that should really be charged for taking bribes. They can making that ruling that if you give him the bribe, give the person the bribe after they do the bad deed, then it's a gratuity. Right. But if you give them the money before they do the good deed, that's a bribe. So that's why you saw, in my opinion, that's why you saw Clarence Thomas going up to the House of Representatives to meet Johnson, your homie there, Speaker Johnson. He probably was going to get his gratuity, which is perfectly legal according to his own words. Isn't that something? They got it going on, man. Trump's got it going on, suing himself. It's comical. It would be comical if it wasn't so serious. Exactly. Yeah, but go ahead. What's the next you got on?
And they have reported that Ratcliffe, the CIA director, went to Russia, and they having several meetings, that high-level meetings that they had, and we all would wonder within ourselves is that what do we have to talk to Russia about?
Now, didn't
secretly
Kash Patel go there already too, or was he? Is it coming? Been there, he's been there. Yeah. Okay. Well, what it looks like to me is that it's just what it's always been. Putin's in charge. Yeah. That they're going to talk to their boss and find out what's the plan. Right. This thing with the military. Did you see that conscientious objectors generally they'll get 50 in a year. I think they're up to 150 or something. Wow. And so far this year, people are conscientious objectors, and they would have if you're going to be a conscientious objector, this is the time to be it. In other words, if you want to get out the military based on your religion, your morality, or like what's going on now, war crimes, you don't want to participate in war crimes. It's up 3 times. The way I understand it, you can anybody out there can Google that and make sure I'm right. But as far as the number, I know the numbers are up, but I don't know the exact number. In fact, the only reason we know that is because the outside group that helps military people with that argument to get out, they're the ones that are reporting it. You're not going to get it out to government. And the only reason I think of that is because we were talking about Putin and the morale in our military. It's almost as if Donald Trump was trying to demoralize our military.
Right. Because in speaking, good segue for that conversation is that I was listening to this thing the other day, and it was talking about how, how the military is being restructured, through HECSEC, and he's talking about how they are firing women, firing people of color, because they say even with the recruiting is that they are looking for Anglo-Saxon men to run our military. And, even the conversation me and you had about, we started talking about treason, the general officers, is it treason? I think I said to you, I was like, but they have to do what they boss say. Secretary of Defense has said, and he's getting his plans from Trump. Right.
Well, they don't, you say they have to do it. That's where they're at right now with this conscientious objector. You saying you have to obey unlawful order?
Yeah.
I don't think so. You telling me that if I
The
give
key
you
word is lawful.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
telling. Lawful,
gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
lawful. But
Gotcha.
if you tell me to go and kill 160 schoolgirls, send a bomb, the Tomahawk missiles into a school, that's not a lawful order. Now, I mind you, you're going to get charged. You're going to be on trial. I get that, maybe. I get that, but then at least you were stood by your convictions. Now.
Well, the thing with that school is that well, it still goes within their perimeter is that it was bad intel. Is that the location because they saying that where their school was there, it used to be a warehouse
Right.
or whatever the case may be.
And I get that. I
Right.
get that, but that's from their word.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
another
saying.
thing. Yeah, that
And
is
because you've broken down, you removed all the lawyers who were supposed to tell you if this is illegal or illegal, legal or illegal. You've broken that down. So who are we going to go and check with? Headsets? You're going to ask him, man, was that legal what you did? Or did you make a mistake? You're going to ask him and depend on his credibility. The military has no credibility.
Right.
The federal government has no credibility right now.
Right, even to the with the Iran war, is that all those general officers, all of them was in the room, all of them was there, but then he said, but no one stepped forward to do the pushback to say this is not a good idea because, like you say, man, you didn't serve 30-some years,
Yeah.
4-star general, you know,
Right.
it's,
You don't
it's,
want to
it's
lose
hard
your,
for you to stay, it's hard for you to stand on that.
you don't want to lose
Yeah.
your job.
Basically, well, we've seen that he has no problem with, you know, he fired his Joint Chief of Staff within a week in office.
Right. And I say that's part being in leadership. You're supposed to be prepared to step down. You know what I mean? I get it. We get caught up in our bills and all that, but at that level, your troops are dependent on you to do the right thing. And I just don't see it in the military, like you say, because he's fired anybody that I'm sure that's not going to be loyal to him, and not, I'm sure they get fired. That being said, that's why Headsets is having the problem even filling in positions like his assistant, what they call it, deputy, like whatever, deputy defense director, whatever, can't fill that seat because who would be a fool to take that seat? You know what I mean? At this time, and by the way, if you're not. You can check your voting rolls. Make sure you check it, especially if you're down south, to make sure you're still active on the voting rolls because they're knocking people off. That's the strategy. Trump has no cards, and so his only card is to cheat, and that's what he's good at. But let me run through the other things. I know we got a minute to go real quick. The Carmelo Anthony in Texas, his retrial was denied. He's got 35 years for stabbing a young white fellow athlete or whatever they were. The conflict, when I say that, and I'm not saying that lightly, there was a conflict there. A young man lost his life. He was white. The young man that stabbed him was black. Everybody should be familiar with that story. He was denied a retrial, so don't know that's where that's at.
Real quick, one of the things that they denied that I found out is that a lot of the testimony that was showing about them young boys making racist comments and all, they agreed to have that testimony out, so that was never even presented. So that would have been something I think that would have actually made a difference as far as like with his things that this one kid he had plenty of incidents that he made racist comment, made racist rants against people, but they didn't want that because they saying because of the atmosphere in that area.
So the judge didn't allow that?
The judge didn't allow it.
Okay, that's a major thing.
That is a major thing.
The judge didn't allow that evidence to come in for his retrial.
For his original trial.
Oh, the original
trial.
Okay, but didn't it, I'm sure they submitted that
for the retrial.
Okay,
right.
Good. But that's just good information.
Yeah,
I understand that it's a sham. Now, you could tell by the years he got for murder, there was a sham. Now, it was a Southern justice, what Southern black people call just for us down south, all over. Okay, the Nolan Wales, I haven't heard anything new on that Nolan Wales case. Mary Love here in Waukegan, I don't know, they had some this past Monday, I don't know how that went. Anybody out there listening want to come on and talk about that case, you're welcome to. We got plenty of room for guests. And the mail-in ballots, we talked about that. The measles outbreaks, we got our first death in Pennsylvania, I think it is. Measles is on the rise, unfortunately.
In Kane
And,
County. High school in Kane County.
Here in Illinois, in Kane County?
Yes.
They had a death?
No, they have death. They had somebody that was diagnosed with
Okay, so it's here in Illinois. Maybe it's spreading all over. So be aware of that. Get your shot. Make sure your children get their shots. And we can talk about anti-vax and all that another day. The importing beef. The beef should be coming down cheaper. Trump didn't undercut his main base, the farmers. He's going to bring beef in underneath them. So beef is.
Get some China beef.
Get some China beef. We're going to made in China beef. He's screwing his. That's his base. The farmers was his base. Anybody that traveled these roads in America, you can't help but seeing all these Trump signs on these farmlands. And they're the first ones he screw. He's screwing up every time you turn around. You hear about foreclosure. They got a black guy farmer in Virginia. He's a good spokesperson for the farmers. He's like a third generation farmer. Right. Somebody to look up. I might look him up on the break. And then COVID is on the rise. So everybody know that COVID is exploding. So we're going a little bit over there. We're going to come back, take a break here. We're going to come back with our subject, sexuality. And that's the subject of the day. So we'll take this quick break. We'll be right back. That was the first quarter. All right, welcome back. This is the second quarter. We're going to talk about our subject today is sexuality. Now, sexuality is can be broad or whatever the subject is, but since I forgot to mention Dolly Parton just passed in the news, we could have, but were you a fan of Dolly Parton? Yeah, I like Dolly Parton too. I mean, Dolly could do no wrong.
She was real. I can't say that about her. She was real.
Yeah.
She didn't talk about what she was against, but she talked about what she was for.
And she was for, and this is what I was thinking when the subject came up, sexuality is the gay issue. Because I read this little snippet in the news. Log cabin Republicans will no longer focus on transgender issues. Instead, will focus on LGBT as an advocacy for LGBT. Now transsexuals are out, so now they just lesbian, gay, and bisexual. I got stuck too. Sorry about that. I got kind of hung up with it too, because they're kicking the transsexuals out the group, so to speak. If you ever seen, it makes me think of what's that, Dave Chappelle and his group about all the alphabet people and all of them getting in the car and they taking this ride, So evidently the transsexuals are out the car, they out the group, and it stunned me. I was like, in this time, at this, the transsexuals are the number one target right now for the Republicans in the campaign. I didn't even know this group existed. They call them log cabin Republicans. But I'm like, there's something wrong with this picture, isn't it? How do you kick the transsexuals out the group? Aren't they? And now I'm not an expert in the gay life and the gay, but I thought they were gay too.
Yeah, they are. But I think because it's a choice, is that when you do transgender, is that what I think the reason why that they're doing that is that they're saying is that we can be okay with the LBG.
Lesbian, bisexual, and gay. We're just going to see it out, make it easy.
Right. So we can be okay with them. But he say, but then again, that transgender fight that they took on is weighing them down a whole lot more. They're a lot stronger than what they thought they were, and they have a whole lot more support. So they say, okay, well, but then again, they're talking about now becoming an advocate of LBG.
Yeah, but they were an advocate of T also at one point.
No, they never know.
GOP
has always been against LGBT.
Oh, they have?
Yes.
Okay.
But listen to what I'm saying. They always been against it, but then again, they stood on the line. Is that Trump would get up there and say, yeah, we support the LGBT. That's what he said. So in other words, but they never spoke to it. Democrats speak to it as far as like what their rights are. All they doing is say we support them. That's just a blank statement.
Now,
the GOP.
GOP, they support LGBT.
They used to, like you said, they used to support LBGT.
Okay, yeah. All right, but now T is out.
But now they saying,
and I think the T is out because that's the main focus of the. They're bringing back this whole rehashing every time the election comes around. Black people don't just stand by. We're going to get you in the rotation. But transsexuals right now are the ones who they talk because it's the athletic thing.
That's
in fact, when
we
get to the entertainment, I would talk about we had this incident in Chicago with Cloud, our point guard, and Cantor Freedom. He called himself a former NBA player. And evidently, the former NBA player was on the sideline. I don't know if he was heckling the lady, but in Chicago they had this absurd thing where some guys threw some dildos on the floor.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And so there's an attack right on point in time for the election, and the transsexuals are the easiest target. They're a small minority group, and that's what offends me. That's what transgender. Yes. What I say. Transsexual. Yes. Oh, here we go. All right, now let me keep it simple. Now,
I just want to make sure that you identify what that's how they are identified.
Okay, and that's a conversation for another day.
Right.
But I'm gonna I just want to say real quick that it's a political season. That's the easiest group to attack. It worked the last time. I don't think it's going to work this time. And like I say, they do it it goes back to forever around the political season. It's generally the black folks they'll pull up. You're going to see that black guy in the dress this year that looks all whatever crazy. The gay thing, I don't know. Is that still an issue for people today? I'm wondering, in your opinion.
It's not. But to go just a little bit on the last thing that you said about the reason why they have to drop the T off of that is because their whole driving campaign is talking about transgenders going to females' restroom. They have a whole platform of talking about, we don't want playing any sports and all. So they saying that how can we say we support LGBT and then over here we having a conversation about the fact is that we don't want no transgender going to female restroom or going playing sports and all. So they had a mixed message. So somebody had to tell them that they had to clean the mess up, and that's what they're trying to do. Like 70-something, how many days left before?
About 70-some days.
About 70-some days out.
Yeah.
So now is the time for them to try to clean that up so they can actually go forward, still saying that we support the LBG, but then again, we speak highly about the fact that about the transgenders.
And that's just so confusing to me. Good luck. I'm still stuck on you're saying that the Republicans were a friend or supported LBG. Let me just say it like this: homosexuals. Can I say that? That's not right either?
Hey, you can say it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna
Like I said, the freedom of speech.
I get screamed down.
I'm just saying that's how they look at that.
This is a difficult subject for us, Dan, because I'm getting caught up on the names, and that's what I say. This is freedom. This is a show. We're going to talk about what we want to talk. Shut us down in speech. You know what I mean? Even if we're wrong, this is America so far. Now, it's getting kind of funky, no doubt, but we should be able to say what we feel, as long as we're not trying to be malicious about it and hurt somebody. That's a different category. If you're trying to hurt somebody and be malicious, you need to pull them to the side and get in the alleyway. And then I would respect you for that. But now if you're going to do something cowardly like the Republicans do, get on stage and get in front of a camera and try and degrade somebody, humiliate somebody, that's what I got a problem with. And in fact, like I said, the gay issue, I thought America, it just shocked me how the gay, and I'm not sorry for if I'm saying it wrong, but I'm going to say gay wouldn't, how gay people moved to the front of the line in less than 50 years, when black people have been working at it for 400. And I think, as I was saying, I stand by it, I think it is because more of the white male issue in there that moved them to the front of the line. I still say that. Did you know Scott Bassett, the Treasury Secretary, is gay, and he's married to a man, and they have a child.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah, Scott Bassett.
Oh.
Yeah, and so
I did not know that.
And then so I get what you're saying on the Republican side, but that I have another question, philosophical question, since we're on this subject. Are people born gay? You get my question?
Yeah,
or is that a choice?
It's been debated for years.
All right.
And to this day, I don't think that nobody got no definitive answer to it. For the longest, I said that I didn't agree that they was born that way. But then again, over the years and watching people having to come, because I have to accept everyone's truth. And if someone's truth is that, even as a young child, they know the things that they felt, they was in a boy body, but everything they wanted to do, they wanted to wear the shoes, they wanted to play with dolls, they do the whole 9 yards. Or the female, she wanted to play cowboys, and she didn't want to wear a shirt on the top because she wanted to be like all the other boys. You know what I'm saying? So, the thing that I have always said from being in the military, and that when it first thing, it was a big thing in the military by gays in the military. What my stance was on that, and anybody that I talked to, is that I said the reason why that I feel that those people have those right to express themselves in any way, because I was a black man. And I know how it is that we were discriminated against just because of the color of our skin. Mm-hmm. And so in other words, it's the exact same. People say it's not, but it's on the same level. Sexuality, skin color.
All right, and people say it's not. Do you know why they say it's not? Did you ever hear have that conversation? Yeah, they say it's not on the same level that, the struggle of black people is not the same as the struggle for gay people.
Right, but the thing
I'm just asking, is that right. Correct?
I believe that it's on the same, and the reason why, because at the end of it, it's still you're being prejudiced or discriminating against a person because of a cause. Cause is skin color, cause is sexuality.
A cause that they can't control.
I'm just saying it there because...
But first of all, let me I get into the
right.
I've heard this argument before.
Okay.
I act like I haven't. As far as what it ties into, from what I can understand, is the Bible, and the Bible says that homosexuality in the Old Testament is an abomination, and I think they're supposed to be thrown a stone or something to that effect in the Old Testament. I glanced at it before, which is in the Old Testament. Then you get to the New Testament where Jesus never talks about the gay thing at all. The words in red, if you got the King James Bible, it just doesn't come up. Paul is the Apostle Paul. This is after Jesus dies and the church is being established. The Apostle Paul writes a letter, in which he talks about the gay issue. It's only about 2 sentences. And, he just talks about the natural thing that's going on with the women. The natural, I don't want to use the word that he uses in the Bible. If you read the King James and Romans, it can get pretty offensive. Yeah, because he said the natural use of a woman. They've left the natural use of a woman. And just that term, natural use of, it's like, golly, that's some old English there, and that will get you in trouble. So I'm just stating that if you read it, Paul was the first person to bring that up. Now, when he brings it up, he doesn't stop. That wasn't the subject he was talking about. It was like passing, because he was talking about righteousness and how, people, the unrighteous people were supposed to be the righteous one, which was the Jews, and the unrighteous were the Gentiles. That's really more what he was talking about than he was about the gay issue. But I get it. I just wanted to make you a point on where this in religion, what the problem is. I think a big problem as far as gay people. But I'm back to this. Well, I will help the discussion of this issue out, because if they're saying that they were born like this, and I can see that they were born like, I've seen kids from 3 to 5. I've seen them with good parents, no abuse whatsoever as far as that. And at 3 years old, I remember my friend introduced me to this young, at that time was a boy, and if I didn't know any better, I would have thought it was a girl.
Why? Because of how they look?
Yeah, no, the voice, the demeanor, at 3 years old. 3 to 5, I think he was, let me give him 5. It was 5, let's say it up. But, and later on, of course, the struggle of the family, the boy was, that's what he was saying. He was born like that, like you were saying. He was captured inside a woman's body. And, of course, they went through the routine of getting the sex change and all that. I'm sure he's a grown person now and moved on with his life, or her life at this point. But I get it. I get the religious side, but I will say to the religious people, are you telling me not to believe my lying eyes? And that ain't the only example I can give. I mean, we grew up, all the black people have grown up with gay people in the church. You've seen them in the church, playing that piano like it wasn't no thing, and singing.
Now you gonna have all the musicians gonna be coming after you, man. I'm telling you.
Why?
You saying in that thing. So you said that was a broad statement, man. You say in that church. It says, so in other words, okay, go ahead. I'm just talking about.
No, make this point.
No, I'm saying when you say man, because we see it in church, man. You see them musicians up there playing them pianos. So now you saying that all musicians in the black churches are.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say all musicians.
It's implied. What I'm saying is that you can't.
Okay, I'm glad.
You can't leave no gray area there. That gray area there, if you saying that people playing in those churches. So in other words, you saying if you put the word, just that little key word, some.
That's why I said some.
No, that
some
ain't what you said.
Okay. Well, that's fine.
I'm just trying to keep you straight.
I'm good.
Right.
I'm good with that.
I'm just trying to keep you straight, boss. That's all.
No, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Because that's what we
communicate.
That's what we're doing on the show. We're talking. I do work.
Right.
Yeah. That's the whole point of the show.
Right.
When somebody says something, you challenge it.
Right. Yeah.
And you challenge it.
Yeah,
If I didn't mean that all musicians in the black church are gay. I just said it was noticeable that when you would go into black churches, that, okay, I'll be careful, not all, but some musicians are gay and they play very well.
Right, but the thing about it is that, that I always all have my problem with the hypocrisy of it, is that a pastor sitting up there in his pulpit giving a sermon about homosexuality, and 2 feet away from him is a homosexual.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what my problem was when you start talking about in the church.
Right. I'm just making an observation.
Right.
I don't have any facts or how many numbers, but I know they exist.
Right. But and then the thing that you was talking about earlier, it said when we was young, is that people had like feminine ways and all that. Now here we was, we all grown. We used to call them sissies.
Uh-huh.
You remember that, right?
Right, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was amongst the other derogatory.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we were brutal back then to gay people. You better not.
But you know what the thing about it? strange enough, the one we call consistent could fight. And then I'm talking about in my neighborhood, the assistant, man, you don't mess with you talk you could talk that straight, but you better talk it and run.
Did they have that ball in front of that navel all tied up? You just get it on. Did they have that on? Cause you know you're in trouble. You fight want that ball tied. They put that tied in. Now see, now that's going to get me in trouble.
Oh man.
But no, but if this conversation is not to offend at all.
Not.
But I'm just talking observations. But that's what we do here. We're gonna communicate. We're gonna come back with take this quick break. We're gonna come back with one a little bit over there, and we'll continue. We'll talk about prejudices in general. I want to come back to this topic of the black issue and the gay issue being the same plight and fight. We'll come right back. All right, we're back, and we left on a kind of high note, and we're going to continue on a high note because on the break you were talking about the definition when I was saying homosexuality. Go ahead and continue.
Homosexuality is sex between people of the same sex, and the only reason I say it when you say this homosexual, when you talk about those acronyms, LB, B is bisexual.
Meaning you go both ways.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's why you're saying is that. But then again, also now, when I was talking to the young folks, is that they have this title now is that it's called fluid. They say they're fluid. They say and fluid mean is that it all blends together. Is that I'm not. To me, I think it's just a carryover of being bisexual.
Okay.
They saying they fluid. So in other words, there is no identification. I don't like women. I don't like men. You know.
Okay.
So it all blends together. So today I'll be with a woman. Tomorrow I'll be with a man. Oh,
well, that's not liking. That's like liking both. You said they don't either.
No. It's not liking. What I'm saying is that these young society today is that they don't put no identification to it. You saying like? No, it's not that I like. This is what I'm doing. I'm saying. You have to read this book on Gen X.
Oh, okay, but now I just in pure language. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to follow you
in pure language. You saying is that what you saying? You just say they don't like. I say no. I'm not saying they be with a woman. They be with a man. That don't mean they like a woman or they like a man.
That don't mean they don't mean they like a man or they like a woman. The language has just messed me up. Right. That's all. But I get what you're saying. Just the language that you're using. In other words, let me jump in now, because I'm just trying to understand. Because you said they don't like either or. Wait a minute. Did you say that?
I see. It said that, but I'm saying with. See what I'm saying? They don't say. Oh, well, you trying to associate that they have an affinity to this sex or they have affinity to that, and that's not the case.
Well,
they're with those individuals.
I'm just trying to understand. I ain't trying to argue with you.
Okay.
Trying to understand.
Okay.
Because what we started at, and I think what hit your nerve, because I heard you say they don't like either or. Now,
yes, I did say that.
Okay. But that means, I'm trying to get to your language. Okay. That what that means is it's not, I'm going to be with you, I'm going to be with a man, I'm going to be with a woman. But I don't like either one of you. But that's the problem I was having with the language. I would have used the language. I think the language you prefer. They don't prefer either or over the other.
Right.
They're fluid. To say that you don't like something, that's the language is messed up. If I don't like chocolate, chances are I ain't gonna go to get no M&Ms. You know what I mean? If I say that term, just in common language. That's all. I'm just trying to get on the same page with the language. They don't prefer either or over one or the other. If they meet a woman, if it's a female, she meets a woman that she like, and she wants to date her and this and that, she has no problem dating her, right?
See, that's what I'm saying. When you say, it goes back to the word that you said like. You said dating. I'm saying to you is that they don't have that about them anymore. Is that what I'm doing today don't have nothing to do with what I'm doing tomorrow.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna let that be.
Right.
If somebody out there understands that, it's a simple word like you got to me. If you're gonna be with somebody, you got to have something in common with them. This would be a man or female. I don't know how you discount the word like. That's a simple word. And that's what the problem I'm having with this conversation. Even when I say homosexual, if I say this word or that word, it's a challenge. It's a discussion. I'm like, and that's why I find in this gay conversation that bothers me. We're getting too complicated. Now we got his, her, them, they, what? I got to figure that out now to have a conversation with somebody. I got to. I can't say homosexual. You're gonna jump all. I'm not homosexual. I'm a trans. I'm like, what? I'm like, golly, I can't have a good conversation. Can you just see past my ignorance for a second and then circle back around? Not you. And circle back around. I'm telling you, the national conversation sets the gay. I think the gay plight, if you want to say that. I think it's a setup because I think they've been infiltrated. If you complicate an issue and when you're communicating, if you want to communicate effectively, I always say keep it simple. Don't complicate it. Let the little things go. Well, you can always come back to that. Because this was a classic conversation when you was talking about fluid and you used they don't like either or. Well, that language itself to me confuses me. They don't like either or, yet they're going to be with one. But I get what you're saying. They don't prefer one over the other, but then that gets complicated. All I'm saying is that if we're going to, the main thing is to have the conversation. And then the secondary is to understand what we're talking about. But right now we're just talking about fluid, and you saying a bisexual doesn't. Go ahead. Your language. That language explain that to me.
This wasn't tied into the bisexual. Is that to me, I say, is that the bisexuals, they prefer man and woman. All I was saying is with the fluid is that if you look at liquid and you pour some liquid over here and you pour some liquid over here and they join together, how are you able to divide them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you see what I'm saying now?
Mm-hmm.
It's
water, yes.
It's fluid. It's fluid, and so you will have no way of dividing whether that water over here is different from that water over here.
Okay, they don't discern between one sex or the other. But the word like is just totally, that's a confusing. If you say you don't like, we can get away from that word because, like I say, we got to have a common language. Yeah, right,
exactly.
You're right. I can see what you're saying, fluid, and that all flows together. Doesn't mean one thing or the other to them, okay, let's come to this word prejudice because that's on the board. Prejudice, that's prejudging, right?
Right.
So when you meet someone, do you have a prejudice when you meet somebody, just in general?
Personally, I think human nature that you not knowing a person, if you see them, you're going to make a judgment about that person, whether you think they're nice, whether you think they're ugly, I'm saying, so in other words, in your mind, you being prejudiced against that person before they even open their mouth.
That's prejudging.
That's prejudging, right.
Is that appropriate, should we say, to prejudge someone? Is that,
no,
for instance, since we're talking about the gay thing, I'll give you an example. So I go to the hardware store, and there's this tall lady, looks kind of, doesn't look kind of gay to me. I'm thinking it's a transsexual, but she's working in a, and then when she talks, obviously she is, right? Okay. When I first saw her, dressed up, tall, long arms, am I being prejudiced, prejudging to say that this person is a transsexual?
No, because like you said, it's right there before you.
Well, I ain't heard her talk, just saw her, looked at her.
Right. But then again, you wouldn't be bothered by the fact that if you find out that they is transgender.
Right.
Because because the prejudice would come just as I thought. So what I'm saying, so if they would have talked, you're like, oh, okay. So what that answers that. But that right there is the thing. Oh, one other thing that I want to say about the sexuality is that when I was talking about the thing about in the military, right? Is that we as a society have to realize is that everybody has the freedom of expression, however they want to express themselves, right? Okay, so if you see a gay man, or if a woman see a gay woman, why is it that you feel, and that is prejudice, discriminatory and all, in their mind they think that's I don't want to be around a gay person. Why? You think they're going to try to hit on you? You do?
No.
Okay.
I'm
you
following
say, okay, you follow. Okay.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is that because I have gay members in my family, and they speak to it just like me and you would talk about a woman. They have likes, they have dislikes. What make you think your pimple faced whatever that person have any interest in you? And see, that's where the problem lies, is that people think that they gonna try to convert them. Those people have no interest in you.
Yeah, and so I'm just going to read the definition of prejudice. It's an unfair opinion or feeling formed about someone before knowing them or without enough evidence. Yeah, and so, but I just jump to the chase on my opinion of prejudice. It's just prejudging, and we all do it. When you see somebody, you prejudge. And here's the bigger issue. Instead of prejudging, as you just pointed out, what if, like the gay person I just saw, transsexual, I just saw, okay, that's what she or he is, whatever. I need some help finding a 2x4 over in the lumber line. Right. What do I care about you're being transsexual, gay, or whatever you are, black? Right. I need to get this wood over here, and I can't find it. And you are the worker. That's all I need to know.
See, that's you.
And if I'm just saying, that's the standard. Right. That's what we start at.
Right.
That's what we should be at.
Right. Exactly.
What you do in your life is your business.
That's true.
That's where I'm at. As long as you can help me find this wood and do it in a professional way without being ghetto, that's why I find a lot when we're in the store. I mean, like the professionality. I don't care. That's what we should be at. But sometimes I think we find, especially on this issue, and where we always get played in the political season, where they, and in fact, my heart goes out to the transsexuals just because I always talking about the log cabin. Because what does it matter what a person does in their life when it doesn't affect you? I heard one guy come over here, he was working at the house, he was talking about this issue, and I was telling him, man, that's their business. He was like, well, it ain't gonna be their business if they go outside in the back on their pool and you looking over there at them, getting it up. I'm like, don't look over there.
Why are you looking
over? Yeah, exactly. Why are you looking over the fence?
You still looking.
Mind your own business. Let's move on. This hate. Now, like I say, the comparison between the black plight and the gay plight, I don't know. That's another conversation. And I do get the elements of that. But I always say when you're gay, you can always, if need be, opt out.
Opt out of what?
Well, let's just say the mob is coming for you, and you're a white male. The mob is coming down the street. The mob is coming. You're a white male. You don't have to step out that house and say, hey, you can pull in your your rainbow colored flag and stick it in underneath the drawer and walk outside of your house, be a white male, and join the crowd, right? You let me walk out of my house. They come down the street looking for black people. What am I going to do? I'm going to pull my skin off and hide it in the drawer, walk outside and join the. I guess I could be a Clarence Thomas. I mean, do one of those.
Right.
I guess, but the point I'm trying to get to is the skin is built in. You know, I can't opt out of my skin, and I find with gay people in their plight, that's what you're missing in the argument to say that we have the same condition. In fact, our condition was set up based on our skin. Like their situation was set up based on their skin. You can elevate yourself up. Gay people are not new to the world. Then gay people go back 2, 3, 5, beginning of time. And so this is nothing new. This is just something that's built in we have to be aware of. I just wanted to make that. We can talk about that at another time. That's a subject.
That's a whole subject that we'll take.
Right. So we didn't went a little bit over. Anybody has any feedback on that subject? Feel free to email us at the email address up there. And because we're just talking, not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but some conversations need to be had if you want to battle discrimination or prejudices or racism. Well, the first thing you're going to have to do is acknowledge it and talk about it. And you're going to have to brace yourself for some insulting type language. Of course, if you come in, like we do, we're not going to use any innuendos. But we might be a little bit, quote, prejudiced. But you can always email us and get us straight on that. Well, me today. But we're going to take a break. Going to come back with the last segment, entertainment. And we got to entertain a good subject. Kind of stays on the same subject. We had a good, consistent day today. So we'll take a break and we'll come back. All right, we're back down to the last 5 minutes. That subject, last segments, we went over a little bit on each one. So it's a very good subject. Maybe later we'll continue it. But entertainment, I see the Sky, our home team here in Chicago, had a little incident with the point guard, Cloud, can't remember her first name, and Cantor, who's a former NBA player. They got into a spat. Of course, Cantor, the former NBA player, was on the sideline and, just being an idiot. They kicked him out of the game. But the bigger story is what happened up to get to that point. And you were going to clear that up for us?
What it is that he applied to the WNBA draft.
Okay.
Yeah,
the 7-foot guy?
Yeah, he's almost 7 foot.
7 foot.
Yeah.
Okay, he wants to play in the WNBA.
Yeah,
Obviously, he was just trying to make a mockery of the situation.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, that's what it is. And also, I would like to say what you said earlier is that you're right in saying transsexual, and it lines up with transgender. It both is that it's an internal, identity of sex other than what you was at your birth. Okay. So I apologize. No, I'm just telling you, like I said, I apologize. I'm saying I'm just making a correction to it. But the transsexual, they seek to have it actual, the actual surgery, the medical, the transgender, just identified with that. Right. So.
And that thing with Canada, he's almost 7 foot NBA player. What he's doing is trying to clear that up. He's trying to make a mockery of men playing in women's sport, or transsexuals. I don't know. And he's trying. That's what his stance was, and that's why I didn't get what the big hoopla was, but
I didn't either.
That makes sense. That was the backstory. All right, moving on. What's the entertainment of the day? We might have to get young people in here to tell us about this trade to Miami. Looks like Miami. Thank you. Miami is building up a big an NBA championship team. But come on, young people, tell us about this trade.
So lately, we have Klay Thompson signing to the Miami Heat, along with Andrew Wiggins, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bam Adebayo. And I think that this team, they're definitely contenders. Top 3 team in the East, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree. They probably top 3. But we all know how this process works. You go back to the L.A. Lakers, and they put the super team together, and they did not win no NBA championship.
They got the super team. Yeah, but they got to the championship though, didn't they? They didn't get to the championship.
It don't mean a thing unless you win the ring.
All that money they invested back then.
Well, yeah, invested money.
But so you're not confident that that all-star team is gonna make it?
Hey, if see what it is that when you bring all that talent together, everybody got to give something off of what they've had before. You're not gonna get the ball as much. You're not gonna be in the game as much. If everybody go in there with that attitude, if they go with it, I always call it the Detroit. They always go with the Detroit attitude. They'll win it.
Okay.
And you know what the Detroit attitude is, right?
No, what is it?
Is that everybody got a role.
Okay, no, that's basketball. Yeah. That's just good basketball.
Yeah,
because what you're saying that with all those superstars, they only have one ball.
Exactly.
And but that's not to say you can't get more rebounds or play better defense. So it's a team effort.
Right.
Okay, but what we got in WNBA real quick for the last 2 minutes, last minute. Anything in WNBA besides that Cantor and Cloud issue? How's Caitlin doing? Caitlin. I got to find Caitlin.
She put the sky out of the playoff.
Oh, okay, but hey, but the money's flowing pretty good. Everybody happy.
Yeah.
They're not going to push her around as much this year, right? She's looked like she's getting tired of getting pushed around. She knows she's
because she fouls all the time.
Making all this money for y'all. Y'all don't be pushing me around like that. Exactly. Y'all better lay off on Caitlin. I might have to come to the game and speak up. Or y'all gonna be pushing Caitlin around all this money she's bringing.
September 24th is when the game that I'm looking for. Okay. She played Miles.
Okay, good.
In Minnesota.
In Minnesota.
Yeah.
September. I'm gonna check that out too. All right, we're down to this is it for the show today. As always, every Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30, we have this live. And if you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button, help us out, get our subscriptions up. And we just continue this. We'll be back next Wednesday at 1:30. And as always, as your ancestors would tell you, stay woke and always, always do the right thing.
Please vote. See you next week.
Good job, bro.
They said Biggie daughter inherited his money.